What's up, everyone? Dem Boys back at it, man. I apologize, it's been a little while since I've gotten back to this big nickel. Um, I wanted to give you a cover two that really just kind of was the best of everything I could possibly think of. So it took a while, and I also wanted to gather more best practices, just to talk to you as a general rule of thumb about big nickel. So in the cover three one, it was really general rule of thumb more than setup. This would be more setup, but a little things that I wanted to note. So we're going to pick cover two. Now, when you're playing the run in big nickel, if you come out and you're pretty sure they're running, when you take and slant your pass rush to the outside to get that pass rush, it shoves them out wide and they get way out of their responsibilities. So if I'm darn sure you're running, as a general rule of thumb, I will not send them wide. What you're left with is kind of a mush rush, which is really not very good against the pass, and you're not likely to get very good block shed. That's the downside. I tried to remedy some of that with this cover 2, giving you something where you can get some good run defense and still have actually excellent pass rush. So the blitz and the run D are going to be the same out of this. When I talk about versatility and the things that I wanted to have in here, I wanted you to be able to use a corner so you can get all the animations and just have obviously quicker, faster, whatever. So that's going to be you up here. Now again, if you don't understand that, please go check out the cover 3 one with the really best practices for big nickel, because I talk about players, thresholds, certain things where you want what where to run this more effectively. So please do go check that out. If you're on a phone, I'll have a button with the playlist, with the big nickel playlist, so you can see that. So we're just going to set up our D-line accordingly like we always do. We're going to press like we always do. Then we're going to take LB and put him on an outside third. We're going to bring our user in down here. And, I'll hover over the running back. So, where you're, and again, if you don't understand why I do all that, check out the other video again. Or the free runner stuff. Where you're vulnerable here is potentially up this seam a little bit later, or especially if there's a go route up the sideline that occupies the deep third. There's something to the sideline that occupies him, which we're going to sidebar momentarily, but that's one place where you can be weak. So if somebody realizes that and starts trying to take advantage of that, first you could just user that. A good player may realize that then and just try to exploit the zone elsewhere because they know where the user is going to be, so they're going to try to set up the play to exploit the zone somewhere else on the field. So you could man up, the Jalen Smith in this case would probably be a safety in your scheme, on whoever's running up that slot, and maybe make Van Der Esch your mid-read or your deep third. So in this case it's A, so you could do something maybe like that. That would work. That'd work fine. Another thing that I've found myself sometimes doing is taking X and blitzing him. I like blitzing X instead of A. I just have found a little more success as I've just labbed. Not much, but a touch better success I find coming off that side. For what it's worth. So I guess that's really the pass setup. That's my base setup. It gives you a little bit of versatility because you can kind of do what you want with these two guys. Because you have a rover here. So that's those are like your wild card guys where you can kind of do what you want. Now, this is going to be our blitz / stop the run setup. This one we changed the order a little bit, and that is important. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up our linebackers right on the left stick, and we're going to blitz all linebackers first. Then we're going to set up our D-line with the spread slant outside, then we're going to press. Okay. Sorry guys, we're going to have to... So, okay. That is what happens with that pass rush if your linebackers do not come down. The reason we blitz the linebackers first before we spread the line and crash them and press is because apparently 98 out of 100 times, those linebackers will come down into the gaps. Only in Madden, I swear to God. But the only difference here, as far as a pass rush is concerned, is instead of one of your ends getting a free run, this guy will get a free run. So from a pass rush standpoint, it doesn't matter if that happens to you. This is seriously like it glitching. I'll go in and repick the plays after this, and I bet you anything it'll work fine. But, you know, okay, so then the other linebacker got the free run. Tomato, tomato. But, like, typically what will happen here is the linebackers go down. That's why we do that. I've been doing this for a while. It's literally the first time I've ever seen anything like that happen. Literally. Well, first and second time. Man. So, we will blitz all linebackers. Spread the line wide. Woosah! Slant the rush outside press. Put a big smile on my face and pretend like I'm not playing a game that's glitchier than shit. So, what you will find here is you're sending 6 versus 5. Now, in this case, you're very likely to have one of your ends. Oh, I'm still in their voice yet. You're likely to have one of your ends shed. But what we really want to focus on at this point, so we're not here all day, because I still have in-game footage to show you guys, is the run stuffing aspect of it. Now, this is why I like this setup better with the linebackers down. Against the pass, it doesn't really matter. The other setup might even be just a touch better. If they're only blocking 5. If they're blocking 6 or running, this setup's a little better. Just so you understand, I'm telling you this is the better way to do it, but those are the scenarios. If you really want to get down to the minute detail that I've figured out, that's how this works. Now, the way we're going to play this, because it is a specific way we want to play this, is like your I don't know what you want to call it. I think it's been called rollover run D in the past, maybe. So I'm going to come down in here and try to occupy the center. As soon as they snap the ball, I'm going to drop back, try to loop over around into the hole that the running back's in, whichever hole that may be. So what you end up with is you're taking their center, sometimes their guard, sometimes both. In a perfect world, you probably want to take their center. You're taking that blocker out of the equation. Now, they have a puller, so that's really the best type of shotgun run plays, have a puller, guys. Just so an FYI, when people are shooting gaps on you left and right, it's way harder to shoot gaps when there's a puller. Last year, this year, it's just the way it is. So side note that, as opposed to an inside zone, if that's something you run. Totally random side note. But I wanted to note it because I'm playing, a run defense where I'm going to try to fly in a gap and there's a puller. So it is pretty sound run defense. Sometime I got straight pancaked. But then someone else shed it and got there, which is fine. Like I said, that's the way this will play almost every time. I don't know why it was screwing with me. I truly don't. And then I roll over. So when I take that center out of the equation, usually what will happen is you are going to give one of the linebackers a shot and yourself a shot. But if something goes bad, which we all know run defense this year in Madden can go bad, that's why we're doing that rollover. That's why that's so important. Because if the computer does get picked up, I'm there. If I do get picked up, usually the computer's there. You just have a much higher percentage chance of it playing out that way, as opposed to just getting gashed. So that's why that's important. There's really no perfect run defense. EA is going to have to be the run defense this year. They're going to have to patch some of this stuff. There's a lot of good run defenses. You play the right stuff at the right time, there's good run defenses, but a lot of it's got weaknesses. I still like my meta against the run just for the versatility. So check that out if you haven't seen it. I digress, guys. Enjoy the in-game footage from this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being patient with this one. There's just a lot that I learned and covered, so hopefully y'all enjoy it. Hopefully this helps you game. Peace.
What? 315. 50.
I got him.
Alert, 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 alert.
Here we go. 50, 50. Mike 50.
Go, guys, 4 down, 4 down.
I'm coming after you. Mike 50, Mike 50.
Watch some noise. You gotta go right here. You gotta play quicker. Yellow. Let's go, little lady.
Brings up 3rd and 10.
Let's go now. 60 or.
50. No chance.
Let's go.